Good morning, it's Kinninigan. We're going to have a little talk. Everything that we were suspicious of has kind of been confirmed. Also, some other things that you may not have known about. I'm going to tell you why, for example. You keep hearing everyone in this regime talk about my democracy. Uh, there's some things going on in our government, and the reason why they're using terms and words like that. And to basically say this, um, all of our suspicions have been true, and even worse than that. This is an interview with Tucker Carlson and a gentleman named Mike Benz, and I watched the whole 2 hour interview last night. And by the end of the interview, with the information that he was exposing in great detail, even Tucker Carlson lost his shit and dropped an F bomb in this show and basically said what I said. These people are evil, they have no soul, and who the hell do they think they are? See, Tucker Carlson has a dog in this fight because he interviewed Putin recently. Well, the State Department broke his balls over that one, and basically Tucker Carlson said, I'm an American citizen. I'm going to have a discussion with anyone I want around the planet, and whether you like it or not, and you can go F yourself. These are my God given rights in America. And obviously, because of being Tucker Carlson, he has a great deal of insight into the media complex of what's going on and what this guy's saying, so he could basically verify it. So let me explain to you what's going on. If you could support my channel and buy me a pack of cigarettes or whatever, that would be awesome. What I'm about to tell you could get me in a lot of trouble, but I'll explain why. But I'm also going to tell you the light at the end of the tunnel. Because there's something else that Tucker Carlson said, and I agree with him 100%. The way that this regime, and this is a global regime, by the way, call them what you want. The way they are acting right now is not good for them. This is not how a regime rising into power acts. This is how an empire that's on its downfall starts to act. And the downfall of every tyrant in history has been extreme paranoia, which is exactly what we see happening with this fucking regime. The only way for tyrants to stay in power is to silence those who oppose them. But the United States has a bigger fucking problem on their hand. And one of them started with, here's the thing. All of the modern inventions, everything that is first invented is weaponized by our government, including the internet. And for many years, our own government used free speech as a weapon across the world. It was very easy for them to manipulate regimes across the world when they didn't have communication infrastructures in place. Now, here's what's really going on right now, for example, and this had to deal with the arrest of the Telegram owner Pavel Durov. This is what Tucker Carlson was meaning about this regime is on its downfall. This childish fucking way they're acting now. They are literally blaming Telegram because it's the only encrypted app on planet Earth because the Russian military and intelligence agencies use Telegram. But the funny thing is Telegram was also used by our own State Department to topple regimes around the world, to spread populist movements. And that's what they are shutting down right now. And I'm also going to explain to you how they get the people to go along with this against the citizens because they change the terminology within your own government without telling you. For example, democracy used to mean the voices of the people, we the people. Now, when they say democracy, it means the institutions. Does it make sense now? They don't even refer to us as citizens anymore. This is how they change the language within the government to get people to go along with their fucking corrupt bullshit by changing the language of what they're doing. Hence, not making. But you can sugarcoat it all you want. Basically, what's happening is for many years, and the reason why 2024 is a big deal to them is there are 65 elections going on worldwide around this planet. The most famous one just happened in Brazil. If you know what's going on with Brazil and X. Well, our State Department and CIA is probably involved in every one of those 65 elections, spreading And what they are doing is stopping the rise of any type of quote unquote populist movement in any countries. That's basically what we the people want. Real democracy. This is why they changed the wording of it. This is why they're all going around saying my democracy. You know what that is? You can sugarcoat it any fucking way you want. That is fascism. That is not communism. That is straight up fascism. But they have a problem on their hand because normally in history, we only have regimes trying to spread one or the other. They were trying to spread Marxism, communism, or fascism. They had a hard enough time doing that. Every regime that's tried to spread this has fucking fallen because tyrants become paranoid, very fucking paranoid. And so now they're on these things where they need. And obviously, in 2016, when Trump came along, it fucked up all their agendas that they had on going on around the world. And because they don't want to put American first, they want to stop the voice of the American people. They blame the internet and free speech on the rise of Donald Trump. You've probably heard that one already. That he's a threat to democracy. Now you know what democracy actually fucking means to them. It's fascist, corporate fascism. That's what it is. But here's the problem. In 2016, when Trump came along, the problem they had is they were on a timeline. First, it was 2025, then they bumped it up to 2030 to instill their New World Order. This is why when they had the fucking junta come in 2020, that's all I can say about that. And by the way, Tucker Carlson has a video on his channel here at Rumble, probably, if you could find it, where he basically admits, because he was working for Fox at that time, that yeah, all your conspiracy theories about what happened in 2020 for the election are fucking true. And he's witnessed it. Why do you think he's gone from Fox? Just saying. And this is so our own government has turned into a censorship industrial complex. We are no longer a military industrial complex. They are a censorship industrial complex working on behalf of. Now, he doesn't say it, this guy, Mike Benz, but we all know, even Tucker knows who he's talking about. The WEF, George Soros, the people funding all these NGOs that they have out there that are supposedly for democracy and right. But here's the problem: this regime, since the junta took over, tried to shove so much shit down your throat at one time, it backfired on them. Because not only were you trying to instill the fascist regime and censor everyone, you also had the thing. Obviously before the junta came into power, you had the sticky thing, and then when they do come into power, they were trying to force or mandate everyone get that thing, right? That whole fucking debacle. Then DEI and ESG comes along, and as Tucker even says in this interview, I can't say exactly what he said, but basically he's saying, look, this is failing because most normal people do not like they don't want anything to do with transformers and rainbow flags. And that's another agenda that they're trying to push. So they're trying to push all these fucking agendas at the same time. I keep telling you about Roman bread and circuses. Rome understood for corrupt politicians to stay in power, you had to keep the people fed, drunk, and entertained. Colosseum events, people drunk on wine and full on bread, and it will keep a blind eye to corruption going on within their own government. Well, we don't have bread and circuses anymore because all of our bread and circuses have been infected with DEI and ESG bullshit, so people don't have movies to watch or TV shows. This is another thing that's backfiring on them. We didn't accept their quote unquote forced behaviors from, BlackRock and Larry Fink. You know who I'm talking about. People rejected the forced behaviors. And now, even strangely, Mark Zuckerberg released that letter to Congress the other day stating he was forced by the Biden regime to censor people and he didn't want to do it. Jack Dorsey came out and spoke against not wanting to censor Trump. Yeah, but you didn't know that one, believe it or not. So you have these social media companies rebelling against the fascist regime, and they basically view Trump as a threat. Yeah, now you understand why. Because here is the real threat. They don't care about the citizens. They don't even call you citizens anymore in our government. They call us quote unquote cyber threat actors. This is how they get people to censor U.S. citizens without thinking twice about it. They don't refer to our content as YouTube videos or social media posts. They refer to it as quote unquote incidents by cyber threat actors. And yes, basically what we already thought, that the theory going around the alternative media was, we already knew this going back a few years, that it was Adam Schiff and the State Department who were the ones who sent a congressional letterhead, which is illegal because Congress is not allowed to censor free speech. But it was Adam Schiff and the fucking junta regime that sent the facts over to YouTube and Google, telling them that they needed to ban all the content creators who were spreading anything about the sticky thing or Q, the 17th letter of the alphabet. Now, if you think Q was a fucking psyop by the deep state, I don't think so. Not with the way this regime responded to it. I'll tell you what did happen though, because they're all over. Go to a fucking website like Before It's News or Rumble. They're all over there too. Um, that movement was hijacked by deep state actors who took over. You know, these are the people that are on alternative media for 3.5 years, telling you to. Now they don't. Most of them wind up being not trustworthy because there's only like we're almost at the fucking election. And you've been telling people for 3.5 years, oh, any day there's going to be 10 days of darkness and 200,000 mass arrests. And yeah, who do you think's controlling that narrative now? Not a big surprise if you know who the players are in the alternative media. These are the ones I tell you that never talk about conveniently secret societies like they don't fucking exist. And these are the same assholes telling you that reptilians are underground and deep underground military bases. I don't. That's bullshit. I already told you the thing with reptilians and dumbs is bullshit. Go to anyone in the alternative media pushing the 17th letter of the alphabet. Go listen to what they say about reptilians and how full of shit they are. They don't know anything about reptilians. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on here. So the whole reason why they arrested the owner of Telegram, because he was living in Dubai, he's actually a Russian citizen that fled Russia in 2014 because he didn't want to censor Telegram on behalf of Russia. So he left Russia. But now it's because our military has had massive losses and they're blaming it on Telegram. This is the childish fucking thinking that Tucker Carlson is talking about, which is this paranoid, childish way of thinking. Because Tucker says it. And look, real men confront people face to face. They don't do this behind the scenes censoring Mickey Mouse bullshit that this junta regime is involved in. They don't engage in activity like this. And then, try to gaslight everyone about it. So basically, everything we suspect is true. They're shutting down any populist movement worldwide. And the reason why is because the CIA and our own government has been responsible for the downfall of so many real democracies around the world. They can't have free information being spread on the internet on a global level because a lot of these regimes that are in power, put there by our own CIA, are going to get exposed by the free flow of information. And two, they are blaming Telegram for the reason why our government is losing in Ukraine right now, and why Africa has kicked France out of its country. Now, if you did not know, France had colonial countries in Africa, specifically Niger, because that's where they get their uranium from. 75% of France's nuclear power is nuclear, and they get their uranium from Africa, basically fucking stealing it. So Africa had enough of France's shit, and they kicked the juntas out of Africa, backed by Russia. So that's why they really arrested the owner of Telegram. Unfortunately, with your fucking taxpayer money, is being tortured by the CIA right now to give up secrets on how they can infiltrate Telegram and thus be able to spy on Russia. Yeah, it's kind of shit that your government's involved in right now. And he even said France would never have arrested this guy if they did not consult with our State Department first, because they are on a global initiative for institutions right now. And when they say democracy, it's not the democracy you're thinking of. This is They don't even refer to us as citizens anymore. They don't want to rise at any populist movement. But like I said, they try to jam so much shit down your throat in the past few years. That's why it's all backfiring on them. Good. Even Tucker called it out in this interview. I'll put the link to this in the description. It, this is not the way regimes coming into power operate. See, the big difference is, I'm going to tell you something that you might not know. When Hitler came into power, the Nazis fucking loved him. These people don't love this fucking regime. Just saying. It's already been proven. Look how Democrats are turning on themselves just with the Israel and Hamas shit. Just saying. It's because they try to implement so much fucking shit at one time. It all backfired on them. Because their arrogance, they don't think about things ahead of time. And now all the technologies that we invented ourselves for weaponized weaponized reasons, the internet being one of them, invented by DARPA, is now that America has become, yeah, like he said, our biggest industrial complex right now is not the military, it's a censorship industrial complex. And when they say democracy, they mean institutions, corporations, and they're having problems right now. One of their biggest threats to democracy right now, you want to know who it is? Elon Musk. And the way they're going to attack Elon Musk is with the EU, with this bullshit thing that you can't spread misinformation in the EU and blah, 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 yeah, whatever. See the thanks we get for the fucking people we helped in World War II? My fucking grandfather died at Pearl Harbor for this fucking shit. Sorry if I get hostile, but I have no patience for fascists or people who operate like this. I'm very old school. I was taught. I grew up in a rough family. I did something wrong. I got the shit beat out of me by my parents, okay? Probably why I grew up a little thick skinned. But you got a problem with someone, you be a fucking man. Go face to face and deal with your problems. This behind the scenes, slimy, greasy fucking shit they're involved in. It's pathetic. And it's all falling apart. This government needs to be reminded they work for us. We don't work for them. It's we the people. Not the fucking institutions. Not the WEF. Not And when you try to shove so much shit down people's throat all at one time, it's definitely going to backfire. You're telling them to accept all these things at one time: DEI, ESG, censorship. You're rewriting definitions of words within our own government and foreign policy, and not even telling the fucking citizens you did it. So this is why you're going to hear on CNN and MSNBC for up until you like my democracy. So every time you hear the word my democracy or threat to democracy from this regime, it basically means a threat to fascism, the corporate WEF governance or the New World Order, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm trying to warn you ahead of time. You do not want to live in the New World Order as a human. I don't know what these people think is at the end of the rainbow, but It's not a fucking pot of gold. It's a big pile of shit. Lucifer's represented by the rainbow. I don't think that's a fucking coincidence. Seriously. Ever hear the heavy metal fans from the 80s? I grew up in the 80s. Dio, Rainbow in the Dark. You want to know what that song really means? Okay. Look, we could have a whole fucking lecture on decoding lyrics of rock songs. So that's what's going on. I'll put this in the comments. This is a 2 hour and 7 minute video, and I got through it real easy last night, but I also got very angry, and so did Tucker. Because you know why? Tucker's a victim in this. Why do you think he has his own fucking show on Rumble and he's not working at Fox right now? And as you see, Tucker's arms are folded when he's talking to him about Tucker got angry. That's a defensive posture. I worked in sales for many years. Crossed arms, yeah, and then Tucker's trying to play it off by these laughs. Like you can't be fucking serious. Like this is, yeah, and I think the laughs from Tucker are more or less like because they've been calling everyone conspiracy theorists who've been saying this has been going on, and you've just basically verified it all. And at the end of the day, American taxpayer money is being used to basically, it's if you watch Game of Thrones, this regime is thinking one way: bend the knee or we'll destroy you. You do what we say, or we will bankrupt you, throw you in prison, assassinate you. Then you got the bullshit with Google trying to scrub any proof of the what happened to him, the orange man, when they try to take him out. You know that's scrubbed off Google. Go ask Alexa what happened to Trump in Pennsylvania. Like it never fucking happened. I you know what? So that is really what's going on here. Is because of all the nefarious shit that our intelligence agencies have been involved in. There's more shit he goes into detail. Like one of the other real reasons why we're over in the Ukraine has nothing to do with democracy. Has to do with the energy contracts they signed. But they had a problem because when Russia occupied Donbass and Crimea voted to join the Russian Federation, that's where they had all their contracts to drill the natural resources out of Ukraine, the oil off Crimea, and the natural resources in the Donbass region. Did CNN tell you that? Backed by corporations like Chevron and Burisma. Remember Burisma and Joe Biden? Where he threatened the Ukrainian government to play ball with us or he was going to withhold federal aid. So that's what's going on. At the end of the day, the tactics that our own government is involved in, like I said, anyone who was raised old school like me, that comes from a tough family, you know, this is not ways that real fucking men and women operate. It's pathetic. This is basically pissing on your leg and telling you it's raining. Right to your and they're changing the terminology of a lot of things in government to get people to go along with them. They're saying bullshit to other countries like, oh, this is about internet safety health. Like they think of these fucking names of institutes. It reminds me of the Soviet Union. They have all these quote unquote institutes. The Institute of Science and Technology. The fucking that's basically what it is. The closest thing that this by definition is fascism, a system of government marked by centralization of authority under a dictator, a capitalist economy subject to stringent government controls, violent suppression of the opposition. Yeah, your tax money is being used to murder citizens in other countries who are uh, leading rises in populist movements. Basically, anyone who is speaking out for the people, like what's going on in Brazil right now. And typically a policy of belligerent nationalism and racism. And so basically, all of our suspicions have been confirmed. That's what we're dealing against. And the reason that they have to crush free speech around the world is because they're afraid of people, all the regimes that the CIA has instilled over the years for different reasons. Basically, our Pentagon, State Department, and CIA are working as the muscle for corporations around the world to have foreign policy implemented or rape a country of its natural fucking resources. Now, the one thing they didn't touch in this interview, and I didn't expect them to, because most people won't go that far, but there's also drug dealing and human trafficking going on at the end of the day. Also, just saying, we know it is. So, um, listen, I do say this, and I mean this positively. Every tyrannical regime in history has fucking fallen for the same exact reasons Tucker Carlson said. It's childish behavior. You can't sustain this for too long. Basically, tyrants get to a point where they want to fucking just murder anyone who disagrees with them. That's what it boils down to. And usually doesn't work out too good. Look, if you're a student of history, look what happened to Mussolini in Italy. Just saying, and his wife. People had so much of their shit, they hung them in public. I can't go into those subjects in the. I think you just get the reason why. I can't say that kind of shit. The internet, that's all I need. So yeah, I have a dog in this fight too, because I've lost 10 fucking YouTube channels at YouTube, and some of it was for stuff about the sticky thing, stuff about the 17th letter of the alphabet, stuff about supporting shit they don't agree with. So the more people they censor, the more people they arrest, the more people they indict, the more people that, quite honestly, at the end of the day, they piss the fuck off. Why do you think? And now their whole DEI shit's falling apart right in front of their face. They might have got away with spreading fascism if they didn't try to shove everything up everyone's ass all at the same time. Nobody says demon possessed fucking people think logically. There's a reason why Lucifer and all of his demonic minions are fucking failures. There's a reason why I refer to the Illuminati as parasites. I'm probably one of the only few researchers you ever hear refer to the Illuminati as fucking parasites. Other people speak of them like they're this organization to be feared. Fuck that. I don't fear Alpha Draconians. They know where to find me. Marduk ain't that tough. Marduk, is he showing up in a fucking portal right next to me at my desk and threatening me? No. He knows better. I don't see any fucking alien greys harassing me at night. I'm not waking up in the middle of the night with a bunch of alien greys around my bed trying to fucking intimidate me. But they know who I am. They're scared about me now. I don't bow down to demonic influence, nor will I. And it terrifies them. So that's what we're dealing with. These are real serious subjects because you hear a lot of people talking about the censorship shit and what's going on. This guy actually has the fucking terminology. He's looked into the people, the government policy. He knows the funding for all the agencies. Basically legitimizing everything that was just a fucking conspiracy. And that's this guy here, Mike Benz. I really never heard of this guy. Supposedly he is an advocate for free speech on the internet and has a lot of good insight. And he one time worked for the government, so he has a lot of insight to what's going on. This is why they saw Donald Trump as a threat, because they can't have free speech going on around the planet because it's a threat to all their junta regimes they instilled around the world, from Africa to Europe. Look at Le Pen and Macron. You know what really happened in that election? France actually had paper ballots for that election, but they did some bullshit where they destroyed like half of the ballots somehow, so Le Pen didn't win. She was the populist choice in France. Then you have what happened with Brazil and Bolsonaro, and what's going on in fucking Ukraine, and they can't let this get exposed because then their whole fucking fascist facade comes crashing down on them. We, the people, outnumber them by a lot. Try like 8 billion to 1, and they know it. This is why they're trying to crush populist movements, and why it's mainly being done by unelected bureaucratic officials. Think about that one. They don't speak for the people. They steal our fucking money, institute policies that we don't even give two shits about. Because most Americans, we care about America at this point. We don't give a fuck what's going on in Europe, across Africa. I'm not trying to sound mean about this. I do. I mean, but I care about other things that's going on, such as like world poverty and hunger and shit that we should be involved in with foreign nations, trying to feed their people, trying to get people housing. God forbid we did that. Yeah. So, and that's kind of what's going on. Basically, this regime is thinking either you comply with us or we'll destroy you. If you try to make a populist movement rise in any country where we're looking for regime change, we'll use taxpayer money to fucking kill citizens of other countries in drone strikes, covert ops. That's what's really going on with your taxpayer money. And of course, financing all this shit. And at the end of the day, they wipe their ass with the Constitution, anything we the people want. Like, we the people want Trump. They don't want Trump because it's a threat to their, like I said, their democracy. Well, now you know what democracy means. That's why. And because Trump is a billionaire, and the same thing with Elon Musk, they can't hurt him financially, which is one of their main weapons right now. Which is why I'm on my 10th YouTube channel. I'd be fucking rich right now if I was spreading deep state propaganda for George Soros. I'm a lot better than the deep state actors they have doing it, tell you that. But I won't. They never approached me. Nobody from the fucking deep state has ever approached me about my research. I think they already know I won't play ball. They already got a psychological profile of me. I'll give you a little secret. When I served in the National Guard, I was a unit administrator because I scored so high on the ASVAB test. I was given intelligence exams in school. I scored in the one top percentile of intelligence in the city of Philadelphia. That's how intelligent I was. I say was because I don't think my brain is at the full capacity it used to be. I was born to figure out abstract problems. How do you think I figure out all this shit about the occult and reptilians and aliens and the topics I get involved in and do it easily? It's the way my brain works. But at the end of the day, I also suffer from severe ADHD, and I get bored with most people. And I have no tolerance for behavior like this from quote unquote grown ass men and women. I come from a very old school background. You got a fucking problem, confront them face to face. Which this government is afraid to do. They are afraid of the people right now. So that's what's going on. There's so much money on the line with, and mainly because of what the CIA's been involved in with regime change around the world, that this is not looking good for an election coming up. I'm just saying. I got a bad feeling. Kind of ironic because the whole reason for the founding of the American experiment in the first place was religious freedom and free speech from a tyrannical fucking monarchy. And here we are, 266, is it? I don't know, however many years later, I feel like doing the math. Yeah, about 266 years, I think. We're doing the same fucking shit. So that's what's going on around the world, and you'll get a lot more insight and you know proof into this by watching Tucker. I'll put this video in the comments. It's over here at Rumble. I'm gonna I think I'm just hoping one day a lot of us who've been censored by Google and taking this, we definitely need some type of class action lawsuits against these people. Yeah, and the way they're acting anymore, it's not looking good. They're in panic mode. They're really fucking panicking. Their idea, their new world order by 2030 is fizzling out because most people don't agree with them. Their bullshit's getting exposed, and their biggest threat to their existence, God forbid, is free speech. 2024 and issues of humans of just saying what's on their mind, being told by other humans what they can't and can't say, who are normally in those positions of power for nefarious reasons anyway. They were never fucking actually elected there, and that's what's going on. To project a regime of people who want to fucking worship the serpents of Babylon, the reptilians, because this all leads right to the fucking reptilians, whether you like that or not. Although everyone involved with this junta regime might not know that, or they might try to deny that they're actually working for fucking reptilians, but you are, and they will deceive you all. So any human helping out the junta, you're going to be disposed of when you're not needed anymore, also. You're just another human sacrifice for the fucking reptilians at the end of the day. Do what you're told. Give up your firstborn to Molech. Murder your wife for power. That happens a lot from Sumerians. Hey, Mariah Carey just lost her sister and mom. Would you like me to make a video about that? Because there was some fuckery going on with that one. In fact, there's a video of an ex-Illuminati witch going around on the internet, basically confirming the black magic shit that was going on in the studios. Maybe I will make a video about that. So anyway, that's what's going on. Unfortunately, enough people are not waking up. A lot are, but those movements, like I said, the government is actively trying to squash any populist movement anywhere in our own borders and other countries, and they're trying to do it under the guise of safety and spread. Oh, here's the other way they're getting away with this. This is the funny part. You know, when Trump first came into power, the deep state tried to fight all this quote unquote misinformation. What did they do? They hired fact checkers. Here's where things get really pathetic. The problem that they had with the checkers they hired is they couldn't fact check information that people like me were putting out and fucking disprove it because it was real. It was the fucking truth. Why do you think they don't mess with me too much about my reptilian research? Because it is the fucking truth and they can't disprove it. So they go online and they'll support videos being made by content creators who have 1 million subs to go out there and just call it the lizard people conspiracy so they could try to make people like me seem like we're fucking crazy because I told you. You hear anyone talking about quote unquote lizard people, That's a huge fucking red flag. They're probably not giving you good information. See, it's the same as calling someone who believes in MAGA a domestic terrorist, basically. Whatever. But that's kind of what's going on. So if you can support the channel, all the links are in the description. This is what is really going on around the world. And this is what these assholes really mean when they say, my democracy. It's corporate fascism on steroids. And at the end of the day, it's to cover up a lot of the corruption that our own government's been involved in over the years because they can't allow the free flow of ideas to all the military juntas or the countries where they instilled military juntas. So that's why they're trying to crush all these populist movements. And it seems to be all falling apart for them because they're acting like paranoid dictators. And this is how empires eventually fall. So I would say their empire really never got up and running. It was supposed to be with Hillary Clinton in 2016. She was supposed to end the United States and usher in the New World Order for 2030. She had no problem being a corporate whore for fascism. Believe that. Hillary would have been sending MAGA people off to the Gulag to be executed. I'm not even joking about that. She has no problem killing fucking children. I'll say it. Think she gives a shit about American citizens? You think any of these people working for the junta do? Anyway, if you can support the channel, all the links are in the description. I'm warning, if you watch this 2-hour video, you might get a little upset watching it because even Tucker loses. This is beyond fucking evil and pathetic. Everything that we're supposed to stand for, free speech, or, they're changing the language of everything to get people to comply with them now, which is basically what fucking cowards do. I'd have more respect for these people if they just came out and flat out said, we worship reptilians, we worship Lucifer, fuck you, we want you dead. I'd have more respect for them. Well, at least I know where you stand. But they don't. So, yeah. Joe Biden almost came out and said it. I'll give him that. When he was talking about needing F-16s to take down the government. He almost threatened us. Almost. Like I said. Anyway, any questions or comments, leave them below. If you can support the channel, all the links are in the description. Take care, and God bless.